Howdy, and on today's Badger Reviews, I'm going to be reviewing Tomb Raider for the PS3 2012. Now, this has to be one of my favourite games of all time. It's the winner of 44, I'm just reading the book, 44 E3 awards, including IGN's Game of Show 2012. Even the box I find appealing. I think it's really fantastic. You know, you've got the Lara Croft in the background, you know, the waves, Lara with the bow and arrow, the pickaxe and the familiar gun. You know, I think it's fantastic. Even the box is great. The instructions, I thought, you know, small little pamphlet advertising to the game and with a code and a relatively good sized instruction manual. Flimsy-ish box, and they haven't gone the Nintendo route of using recycled plastic or saving on plastic, which is a shame. That's one thing I love about Nintendo, is that they like to save money on the plastic and the materials, because then they can give it back to the fans, which is what I love. I feel you can immerse yourself in this game so much. It makes you feel like you are Lara Croft, yeah? You are wanting to escape the island, you are wanting to go through, muscle through, defeat all the bad guys, go through all the puzzles, which I love. You feel like, when you're in the puzzles, you feel like you're not actually doing the puzzle, you feel like you're just trying to get through, save Lara, save her friends. It's fantastic. I do love the fact that even with like gaining XP with killing animals and things like that, you are sort of like doing it so Lara and her friends can eat at the base camps, which I think is a good idea. Although you only see it once, the idea is implied that each time you kill an animal, Lara or one of her teammates eats it, so it keeps them alive. So I think that is good. So sort of give a good reason behind it, which makes sense. Unlike games like Red Dead Redemption and things like that, where you're just killing to eat, you know, and you know, the silly bug where you kill your horse 100 times, you know, and things like that. I think it's a bit, there's nothing like that in there, I don't think. But obviously, when you start killing and killing and killing the animals, the XP goes down, so you can't farm XP as much, which makes sense. It even comes up on there saying the area is wiped out, move on to another area to kill more livestock and things like that, which I like. You know, you can't forever farm in one area, unlike games like World of Warcraft, where you can sort of obliterate everywhere all the time and just XP farm. You can't do that in Tomb Raider. What was I going to say? Even the additional tombs, you do feel like you're doing it for a reason, which I love. You feel like you're going in, collecting in order, like collecting the fit stuff in order to save Lara and her friends, pick up all the different items, get the XP and the salvage in order to up the bow, up the pistol, up the other guns. You know, I think it's great the way the system works, where you can update all your guns, update Lara's skills as she goes along surviving the island. And it makes sense, obviously. The more time she's going to be on the island, the better she's going to be at survival. So the game does work like that. The more time you spend doing it, the more time you're on the island, the better you get. So it works if you think about it like that, because I don't think there's any real time structure how long they're on the island. So she could have been there a few months upping her skills. Sorry, we're just watching Carrie and it's got to a really gross bit. Nice. Oh yeah, what I was next going to talk about is obviously the combat style. You know, I've waffled on about the puzzles, so now I'm going to talk about the combat. Now, my personal favourite is stealth in the combat area of the game with the bow and arrow. Personally, I thought it was fantastic. Shooting the lights out, or shooting the platforms down, making them jump or run out of the way, and then headshot, headshot, headshot constantly. One of my favourite areas, but obviously one of the hardest in the game, is the big black sort of nighttime forest area where you literally have to go up in the trees, otherwise you'll get killed instantly. If you don't go up in the trees, if you can make that without going up in the trees, I put my hat off to you, because I died about 30 times in that area. The only way I figured it out was to go up, zip line up into the trees and headshot everywhere, and then run to the end into the wolf cave and blitz the 3 or 4 guys that were there. Otherwise I just kept dying. It took me about maybe 20-30 tries, I think. I was a bit of a noob at the game to begin with, but I got there. Got a lot better. Next on to the guns. I love the fact that you can have customization with the guns and the bow and arrow. Constantly make things like flammable, like throwing grenades. I think grenade launchers. It's one of the best guns in the game. You know, just in off a load of grenades everywhere. It's fantastic. Blowing up everywhere, and the fact that you can set a light to about 4 or 5 enemies in one go if you get it right, and obviously clearing the playing field is fantastic. It's great the way you're able to do that. But I personally prefer the stealth areas, because then you can take your time. But if you have to sort of like rush in, brutally slay everyone, I often find that it takes me a lot of tries in order to get to the end. Otherwise I just keep getting my ass kicked all the time. I like the fact that the enemies do get harder eventually. They learn new skills and they wise up to what Lara's doing eventually. So, and you really have to use stealth in some areas in order to get past some of the areas. I think the game is very good value for money now. I think you could probably get it for about $10 to $12.99 on Amazon, or probably about that in CEX if you like recycling like me and using vouchers. Then you'd probably say like about a tenner, probably, depending on what your preference is. Obviously, if you wanted it on PlayStation 4 now or Xbox One, it commands the £50 price tag, which I think is extortionate. That's why I'm only going to get the PlayStation 3 for a long time ahead. Not even because of the money side of it, but because I just think I'm not in any way ready for that console. There's no games on there I want to play yet anyway, so it would be mad. But each to their own. Let me know what you think of the PlayStation 4 or 3 or Xbox One. I just want to touch base. Let me know what you think about my first serious review, because I'm still a bit sketchy on whether or not it was any good. Probably a load of old crap. But let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, keep this channel going, and give me any advice and hints you want. Constructive criticism is more than welcome. Just keep up the good work, everyone, and keep YouTubing, and I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks very much for listening.